Okay, morning. So I want to make sure everyone can see my screen, my slides. Okay,
Yeah.
so now it's 9 o'clock in the morning. So the session start to be recorded. So we can get started now. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you very much for your participation in the 2025 JHTM webinar series. The focus of today's webinar is integrating tourism and the health sciences to address academic and practical issues. The perspective from early career, middle career, and senior researchers. So we are honored to have four distinguished panel speakers, and I'm privileged to serve as a moderator of today's session. So I would also like to thank the JHTM editorial team for their efforts in successfully launching this webinar series, particularly under the leadership of JHTM's editor-in-chief, Professor Mariana Sigala, from the University of Newcastle, Australia. So the webinar is being recorded for educational and promotional purposes. So therefore, before we officially start our webinar, so I would like to share a few friendly reminders for all participants to follow in order to have a smooth experience of today's session. So first, during the presentation from our panel speakers, so kindly mute yourself in Teams. Second, so feel free to share your questions and thoughts in the Teams chat box. So my colleague Mina from Curtin University will address this during the Q&A session later on if we have more time to interact with each other. So lastly, so please click on the hands up icon in the chat box during the Q&A session, and I will call your name to unmute yourselves. So this will help us to avoid multiple participants speaking around the same time. So thank you for your cooperation. So I'd like to take a couple minutes and to have a brief overview of the journal JHTM. So JHTM is a leading journal in the fields of tourism and hospitality, serving as the official journal of COTHI. So I'd like to take around 2 minutes to offer a brief overview for those who may not be familiar with the journal. So this is the editorial team of JHTM. The editor-in-chief is Professor Mariana Sigala. So under her leadership, JHTM has been strategically and successfully developed in recent years. So JHTM is ranked among the top 10 journals in tourism and hospitality, is also recognized as a leading journal in management. So should you require any support or wish to contribute your high quality research to the journal, so please do not hesitate to contact our editorial team. So we are more than happy to connect and support one another in our academic community. So here are some brief information regarding the journal coverage, expectations, and benefits, and we'll quickly go through now, so which can be found in the journal official website to save time for today's session. Okay. All right. Thank you. That's a very brief overview of the journal, and we support today's webinar session. Okay, so let's quickly return to the webinar. So this webinar features four distinguished panel speakers ranging from senior to junior academics who significantly contribute to the knowledge development by integrating tourism and health sciences in different capacities. So this webinar aims to show how interdisciplinary research can address both theoretical issues and the practical demands within tourism and the public health. So the goal of this webinar is also to offer a valuable chance to understand how integrated methodologies can improve research relevance, guide practical solutions, and support healthy aging and inclusive tourism development. So without further ado, I would like to introduce each of our four panel speakers. So our first senior speaker is Professor Ian Powell. So Ian Powell is a John Curtin Distinguished Professor at the School of Management and Marketing, Faculty of Business and Law, Curtin University, Australia. He's also the director of the Luxury Branding Research Cluster. So he's a current editor-in-chief for the Asia Pacific Journal of Marketing and Logistics. So Ian later will give us his presentation first. Our next senior speaker is Professor Ben Goh. So Ben Goh is a professor and a dean at the Faculty of Hospitality and Tourism Management, Macau University of Science and Technology in Macau, China. He has over 30 years of academic and administrative experience in hospitality and tourism education. He previously held leadership roles such as at Texas Tech University in the United States. In 2012, he became one of the first educators in the field of hospitality and tourism management to be awarded the prestigious Fulbright Scholar title. So welcome, Ben. So Ben will later give us his presentation. Okay, next one is a young academic, Miss Fangli Hu. Okay, it's Fangli here. So very junior but a shining scholar. So Fangli Hu is a PhD candidate in the School of Medical and Health Sciences at the East Coast University, Australia. So working on the interdisciplinary research at the intersection of tourism and health sciences. Since 2022, and she has published peer-reviewed articles in leading tourism and public health journals, including Tourism Management, and also Tourism Research, Journal of Travel Research, Journal of Global Health, and etc. And she also received some awards, including the 2023 Journal of Hospitality Tourism Management Highly Commended Paper Award. So welcome, Fang Li. So you're going to be the number 3 to give your presentation. Okay, our last speaker is Dr. Chen Ganghua, an early to middle career researcher. And Chen Ganghua earned his PhD in the Leisure Behavior Program at Indiana University, Bloomington, and currently an assistant professor at the University of Central Florida, the USA. His research applies therapeutic principles to hospitality service innovation, with a focus on social inclusion, accessible service design, and public health integration. He is a recipient of a couple of academic honors, including the Best PhD Paper Award at the COTHI 2025, recognized by JHTM, the journal, and the Best Research Award from TTRA 2024. Okay, welcome, Chenggang, and later we will learn from your presentation. Okay, so now let me leave the floor to our first speaker, Ian. But due to Ian's urgent work commitments coinciding with the timing of this webinar, so he's unable to attend the live session. So he has recorded his presentation for us. So we will present the recording on his behalf. Thank you. So I've stopped sharing, and finally, please help me to play his recording. Go. Thank you. So finally, I cannot hear that. It's no voice.
I think she needs to open her microphone. Emily, I think you need to open your microphone.
You need to unmute your speaker, your mic.
Sorry.
There you go.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Management webinar series. I'm Ian Powell from Curtin University, Western Australia, and today I'm here to present my talk on how we redefine wellness and prestige in the luxury industry, looking at health, as the new luxury. First, my apologies for not being there. There was mixed up, with my flight schedules, and as such, I think while this is being beamed, I'm literally on air. But nevertheless, I've done a last-minute recording, of my presentation, and hopefully you will find useful. So first, today we are going to explore how the meaning of luxury is shifting from opulence, to optimum health and well-being. This new luxury is deeply personal, often invisible, but highly aspirational. For many of us who are involved in luxury research, the key focus has always been on exclusivity, scarcity, authenticity, which is what traditional luxury is all about the material or something which is physical. Today, you see that the new luxury has been transformed into experience, the meaning, and overall well-being. So I can quickly summarize to say that luxury used to mean rare objects, and now today it means rare experiences that can improve our lives, especially our health. And it is no-brainer how luxury houses such as LVMH has expanded into the wellness economy. Let's take a look at some of the LVMH's health and wellness division. Let's kickstart, with Benefit Cosmetics. Benefit Cosmetics has a philanthropic program called Bold is Beautiful that supports women and girls through wellness and other initiatives. A key component of this program involves donating proceeds from brown wax services to partner charities focusing on health, wellness, education, and financial self-sufficiency for women and girls. Benefit Cosmetics also introduced a self-check resources to help people assess their mental health. Employees can guide customers, or individuals on how to manage stress and anxiety along with relaxation exercises. And Bulgari is not just about jewelry and precious stones. They've actually organized a special online session for its staff in Italy to learn how to use mindfulness as a mental well-being tool at work. Another brand, of the LVMH Health and Wellness division is Christian Dior Couture. Staff can contact a psychologist, or social worker if they feel the need to do so. The Maison has dedicated mental health task force. Human resources teams are also receiving training in mental health issues, and the Maison places priority on addressing the issue of stress. And all this could include things like medical questionnaire, with yoga, Pilates, and massage classes. So the question is, why do we see health as the new luxury? Health symbolizes control, discipline, and prestige. In today's world, staying healthy is a mark of power and privilege. Obviously, COVID-19 has accelerated interest in immunity and longevity. Equinox Ultra Premium E-Club is a perfect example of this emerging status symbol. I go to as far to say, that it is equivalent, to owning a Birkin handbag, for example. And just look at, the staggering membership fee, of US $40,000, a year. And we are just talking about the entry, the entry level, for this. There's now a very strong wellness-driven consumer mindset being accelerated by the Gen Z and millennials who now prioritize health and wellness as a form of personal branding. Health is part of how these young luxury consumers express who they really are. Now you see the rise, of celebrity-driven luxury brands such as Group, that has turned niche wellness trends into elite lifestyle statements. So what do you get, from this brand? You look at Candace, it talks about a kind of therapeutic therapy. Talks about clean beauty, as in what goes into the cosmetics that you do, and it goes into detoxification, of your body. So they even, have very well planned meals, to look after your health. Travel today is no longer just leisure, it's therapeutic, and there's a strong demand for science-based wellness getaways. Luxury wellness resorts like Shah Wellness Clinic offer curated high-end experiences designed to promote healing and well-being, often attracting a wealthy clientele. These retreats provide personalized programs combining medical expertise with holistic therapies, luxury accommodations, and gourmet healthy cuisine. Another good example is the Aman Puri Holistic Center, which is part of the Aman Resort Group. They can offer holistic experiences focusing on physical, mental, and spiritual well-being with personalized programs, spa treatments, fitness activities, and healthy cuisine in creating a serene and rejuvenating environment. Luxury consumers now view health spend as the ultimate investment. I'm not sure if you have heard of the term biohacking, but that refers to the practice of making incremental changes to one's body, diet, and lifestyle to improve health and well-being. It encompasses various techniques such as self-experimentation and lifestyle modifications aimed at enhancing physical and mental performance. People who are interested in nutrigenomics may focus on eating a healthy diet, taking supplements, exercising, and meditation to extend their natural biological life. One good example of an establishment that offers biohacking services would be the Remedy Place. Their remedies have been curated based on clinical evidence and research. These tech remedies may include things like guided ice baths, sauna suites, contrast suites, red light bed with AI massages. They also offer alternative medicine such as acupuncture, chiropractic services, and vitamin 4 drips and shots. Another good example of biohacking services, which focuses, on eating a healthy diet, would be celebrity Brian Johnson's brand of Blueprint. They have offered products such as longevity milk, if you could believe it, and also other specially curated vitamins and minerals. At this point, I also like to add that biohacking may also refer to more experimental and less common practices, such as blood transfusion, egg rejuvenation, cytogenics, and also gene editing, all in the hope of extending one's natural biological life. There's also the high-end nutrition and personalization. This is whereby custom nutrition is where science meets indulgence. Here I've shown you an example of a brand such as Lima that can deliver pharmaceutical-grade wellness that feels both personal, and premium. What you can see over there is a special type, of vitamins in the gold capsule. And even things, like a home use laser that can help to tighten your skin and remove scars, and so on. So what about designer fitness experiences? Fitness today is definitely a status, symbol. This can be from gym wear to diagnostic-based training. High-end fitness has become an essential part, of luxury identity. And even luxury brands like Hermes, have jumped into the bandwagon. This is a good example of what I would consider as a Hermes fit. Just look at, how they have transformed the traditional gym, into its bright orange color, where everything is done, with Hermes scarves, just, to be used, as a punching bag. Welcome to the world whereby fashion meets wellness. Fashion brands are merging aesthetics with performance, and wellness is now woven into the very fabric of luxury clothing. On the slides, you can actually see the darling, of wellness tech, including Lululemon, and they've recently collaborated with Mirror, whereby enthusiasts, can see themselves on the mirror with the latest Lululemon, outfit in their exercise regime. Now, luxury fragrances do more than smell good. They're designed to improve your mental health, backed by neuroscience. So there is this rise in fragrance and emotional wellness. So scents today is seen to be a tool for stress relief. At the rise of the wellness home, luxury living is evolving to include built-in wellness. Homes now act as personalized sanctuaries for health. Six Senses residences, for example, have all their establishments to include health-optimized architecture. We have now evolved from the COVID days whereby the craze has been online shopping. Retail therapy now is being redefined. Retail has become more experiential again, but definitely with a wellness twist. Example, SKP, a big luxury departmental store, I would say, in Beijing, and I believe there's also one in Chengdu. Walking into SKP is not just about shopping or purchasing, products, but it's almost walking into, a wellness museum. What about a wellness-infused shopping experience through a cruise? Brands like Dior are now turning shopping into a therapeutic luxury. For example, you can go onto a 2-hour cruise, and this, will include a spa, could be a facial, and at the same time, you can see the latest offerings, right, of Dior products. Now we also have to look into the topic, on data privacy and the luxury of control. With health data, personalization reaches new height, but privacy, of course, will also become a luxury in itself. And there are now lots of personalized health powered by data. A good example is the Clinic La Prairie, whereby they can offer you a 5-day detox program personalized, to each individual. What about a highly personalized health bed backed by data? Eat Sleep is a brand that can offer you such a bed. It boasts, that it can offer cooling and heating on each side, of the bed. It can track, your sleep and your health. It monitors the vibration, thermal, sound alarm, and if you've got back pressure, they can help you with a relief, on that, as well. It can mitigate, your snoring and also offer you surround sound. So with health data, personalization has reached new heights, but privacy obviously becomes a luxury in itself. We now see a shift, from product to ecosystem. Health is now seen as the lifestyle platform. The Gucci and Aura ring, which is a collaboration between the Gucci brand and the Aura ring, resulting in a stylish smart ring that tracks health metrics such as your sleep, your health rate, and activity levels. To thrive, luxury brands must embed wellness in their identity, not just creating products, but ecosystems of care. Chanel, also known for its luxury fashion, also hosts wellness retreats and residencies, blending beauty, skincare, and lifestyle experiences. These events often incorporate Chanel's cosmetic line, featuring special ingredients like vanilla from Madagascar, and offer activities like facials, watercolor classes, gourmet dining, and guests can also explore Chanel's latest beauty products like lipstick and liners and enjoy immersive experiences in exotic settings. In closing, I want to emphasize that health is not replacing luxury. It is just redefining it. The brands that humanize wellness will lead this next chapter of luxury. I hope my short presentation has offered you a quick landscape of how the meaning of luxury has focused and shifted to optimal health and well-being. I'm not able to take any questions at this point for obvious reasons, but I'm sure my fellow presenters can also help to offer some of their perspectives, to this area. Otherwise, I'm still happy to take feedback and comments, on email, and I'm sure the chair can organize this. So thank you, Chun-Wan, for doing this. And to everyone else, thank you for listening.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's nice to learn from Ian's research and from the strong luxury perspective. And I think it's good we learn from the different luxury companies' initiative and to benefit humans' health through tourism and the hospitality industry. Okay, I think that's nice to learn, and we will turn to our next senior speaker, Professor Ben Go from MST in Macau. So Ben's presentation is about Macau's 1+4 strategy and how big health could work with tourism nicely in Macau. So welcome, Ben, and I leave it to you.
Thank you, Kenneth. Good morning to everybody that is in the morning. 华晨康 you in the evening. So mine is a little bit more targeted to Macau or this area. So, but we'll talk about health. Macau, the 1+4 strategy refers to tourism plus 4 different areas. As you can see, the government of Macau, with the help of central government in China, had come up with big health, convention and exhibition, high-tech financial services. And in my mind, for Macau to really become something different than just tourism and gaming, is probably big health, the first two, the big health and the convention and exhibition. Not that we cannot do high tech or financial services, but high tech, Shenzhen is only 1 hour away from us, and they are already have 25 years head start from us. And financial services, Hong Kong is also an hour away from us, and they also have, 50 years head start from us. So I think focusing on the big health, it's a good choice. You can see Macau's GDP in 2024, 80% is from tourism. The other stuff that they combine come up to 20%. So we are heavily dependent on tourism. And of course, we don't like to brag, but out of this 80%, 90% of them is related to gaming. Macau's gaming revenue is actually 7 to 10 times larger than that of Las Vegas. And also, you can see the number of tourists that we are attracting. In 2024, it's about 35 million. Now, keep in mind, we are 32 square kilometers total land area, plus the total population of Macau is 600,000. And we're hosting about 35 million. And in 2025, I think we will hit 40 million visitors. So we are very heavily dependent on tourists. So for tourism to include big health, I think investment in infrastructure, such as new hospitals, so on and so forth, it will be very important. Just not far from our university, we already see that Beijing Xiehe Hospital already come and built, join with MEST with a huge hospital. And so more than that, we also have traditional Chinese medicine practices, especially on our own campus. We have the Faculty of Chinese Medicine and pharmacy and health sciences. And so all of this could be integrated together. Macau Government Tourism Office also, their goal, their mission is to make Macau a leisure and recreation center of the world. So health promotion and those kinds of things become very, very important. And I think, especially for research, in terms of how can we get tourism to become, you have to be integrated with, for example, traditional Chinese medicine. One of my teacher actually was studying, what if one of those big gaming operator, they are fine dining, to have them get a health check first before recommending certain menu item for them to consume during the dinner or lunch. And I think that's a great idea. And I think that's what we need to explore. We need to learn from each other. Attracting international patients, if we can do that while they are here seeking medical treatment in Macau, especially with traditional Chinese medicine, I think would be very, very a good idea for a lot of people. As you can see, I saw Ian's presentation about all this retreat. Nothing gets you more interested in health as you age, like me. Because the stuff that's here, the area or the hotel he was showing, actually just a few weeks ago went to a couple of those already. For example, 6 census residences. We can do the same thing in Macau. And I think through more research and survey of tourists to Macau, I think we will find that there are people that will be interested in coming to Macau for that kind of retreat. Health and wellness facilities can be integrated into hotels and resorts. It has never been done in Macau, and I think this is the time. For example, where I am now today is at MGM Reserve. MGM, as you know, is a big gaming operator in Macau, but they have built this wellness resort here in Zhuhai. Very, very beautiful, very relaxing, and they are promoting health and wellness here. And so there's something to consider. Development of health-focused events and conventions. I think if this is what Macau wants to do, I think we need to focus on our MICE event more into health, and combining with the luxury brand that Ian was talking about can be even more powerful. You know, the other stuff that we have that during COVID that have proven that Macau is capable, very capable in protecting the safety of travelers in Macau, especially during pandemic, because I think we have one of the lowest rate of people that got the COVID-19. So we are a safe destination. So all in all, the 1+4 position for Macau is to leverage its strength in tourism. I think, you know, with that many people coming to Macau already, I think by focusing on other areas, we can easily transform or integrate health into our tourism and become and help Macau become a more sustainable economy and not so much reliant on gaming. I think that is one of the goals that the government was aiming for with this 1+4 strategy. Later, I will be happy to take any questions and answer them accordingly. Let me stop sharing. But later on, when we have time, then I can answer a question. But thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ben, for introducing the 1+4 strategies in Macau. Yeah, so welcome to visit Macau. It's a very nice and tourism destination with a diverse provision in the local tourism industry. So later we'll spend a bit more time to discuss further around the same area. Okay, so thank you again for Ben for sharing your insights on the tourism industry and with the Macau strategy. Okay, so our next speaker is a very, very junior scholar, Miss Fang Lihu, and she will share her interdisciplinary research experiences by integrating tourism and health sciences. Okay, so I leave the time to you, and you can share your research in general. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Jun. Can you see my slides? Can you see my slides?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Fang Lihu. Thank you for being here today. I'd like to start by thanking the Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Management's editorial board for organizing this webinar and for the opportunity to share my experiences doing interdisciplinary research. And my topic is integrating tourism and health science, an interdisciplinary approach. And here is my academic background. I studied in tourism management with my bachelor in tourism management, and with my bachelor's degree at Shandong University and my master's degree at Fudan University. And since 2022, I've been doing my PhD in medical school at Edith Cowan University, working on interdisciplinary research between tourism and public health. My research focused on travel medicine, travel therapy, vulnerable tourists, and tourism marketing, and connecting tourism and health science to investigate how tourism can impact health and well-being. I'm very lucky to have supervisors from both tourism and medicine field. And my principal supervisor, Professor Wei Wang, he is a leading expert in medical field. And I have also have 3 co-supervisors. They are also very distinguished researchers from tourism and from medicine field. And in addition to my main supervisory team, my interdisciplinary research also supported by many distinguished researchers from different disciplines like communication, marketing, psychology, tourism, and health. So this diversity really helps me to have new perspective, to have different perspective for my interdisciplinary research. And my principal supervisor, Professor Wang, he is leading a strong medical team conducting innovative research in several areas. For example, suboptimal health status. His team coined this English term to describe the intermediate state between health and diseases. And they develop a questionnaire to measure suboptimal health status. And this questionnaire has been patented and has been translated in over 13 languages. And also, second area is glycomedicine. He proposed parasite dogma. It's a theory can help us understand the role of glycan in life activities. And the third area is dementia. His team has published several articles in top international journals like Lancet and its subjournals. Recently, they just published an article about using mobile phone applications for dementia prevention in the Lancet Healthy Longevity. And this article has been selected as cover article. So being in such a strong medical team has been a really great experiences for me, because I get to learn their way of doing research and learn medical skills like medical research methods, medical terminology, and I also can join the medical conference, can bring tourism-related studies into major medical conferences, and also can meet top researchers in medicine field, including Nobel Prize winners. So these experiences really helps me to conduct my interdisciplinary research. And as distinguished expert in medical field, Professor Wang is very open-minded to new ideas and strong supports our interdisciplinary research. And interdisciplinarity is not a new thing. It can promote more impactful research. So we need more and more attention to focus on interdisciplinary research, like research bridging tourism and health science. So to understand the intersection between tourism and health science, first we need to understand what is tourism and what is health. According to World Tourism Organization, tourism is about like moving from out of our usual environment to another places and to explore new places, to enjoy local food, to go shopping and entertainment. But beside this, what else can tourism offer? In modern society, tourism isn't just about leisure or recreation. It can also have the potential to impact our like individual health and human health. But how tourism can impact human health, impact public health? So we need to understand what is health. According to World Health Organization, health is more than not just being sick. It's a very strict definition. It's a complete state of health, including physical, mental, and social well-being. And tourism can impact these 3 aspects in many different ways. Tourism can cause like health risks during travel, because when we are traveling, we are moving from one place to another place. So tourism involves significant mobility. So this this significant mobility can expose us to many health risks like infectious diseases like COVID-19 and accident, injuries, violence, and wildlife encounters and issues from inappropriate tourism engagement, like when we choose unsuitable tourism destination, when we choose unsuitable tourism activities. So tourism could expose us to health risks, especially for vulnerable populations. For example, people with chronic diseases like people with cardiovascular diseases, cancers, diabetes, and mental disorders, because they have some mental or physical impairments, so they are more vulnerable to health challenges when they are traveling. For example, for people with mental disorders, if they are in overcrowded places and they are facing too much travel stress, so they will be more anxious, they will be more depressed. And for people with heart diseases, long flights maybe cause over like extra health burden to them. So in serious case, and this health risk can be life-threatening. So we need to pay more attention to their tourism engagement to ensure they can travel safely and travel appropriately. With aging population becoming more common, we can see more and more people with chronic diseases. So they are very important tourist group. So we need to pay more attention to their tourism engagement. And there's a branch in medicine called travel medicine. It's a new interdisciplinary area dealing with health risks during travel. And most studies in this area focus on the infectious health risks faced by general population. So they didn't pay enough attention to the tourism engagement of people with health conditions, and they didn't pay enough attention to its broader tourism, to the broader implications of tourism. Like tourism can also bring benefits for people's health. So we propose several research directions. We need to understand tourism engagement of individuals with health conditions, to understand their travel behavior and experiences, and to understand their the impact of travel on health and well-being. So as mentioned earlier, travel can also bring health benefits to human health. So we propose a concept called travel therapy to describe these benefits, especially for people with health conditions. Because during travel, we can have physical activity like walking, cycling, and hiking, and we can have social interactions, interacting with other tourists, with residents, and even with animals. And also we can have wellness facilities, we can have healthy eating, and we can have theoretical landscapes like sea, forest. And so these elements can provide us with positive tourism experiences, so they can benefit a range of population, including people with different health status, including healthy tourists, tourists with suboptimal health status, and tourism with health conditions. And for healthy tourists, tourism can contribute to their health enhancement and can contribute to their disease prevention. And for people with suboptimal health status, tourism has the potential to facilitate their recovery from this immediate state and can prevent the deterioration to chronic diseases. And for people with health conditions, tourism can help them to prevent the diseases and can help them to relieve their symptoms, relieve their sufferings, and can improve their quality of life. And we specifically discussed the impact of tourism on mental health, including health benefits through travel therapy and health risks through travel stress, especially for people with mental disorders. Mental disorders, there are many common examples of mental disorders, including depression, anxiety, dementia, schizophrenia, and 1 in every 8 people in the world, they are living with a mental disorder. So, and many of them actually they can travel. They have the ability to travel, and they have the desire to travel. So people with mental disorders is a very important tourist group in for the tourism industry. So we need to understand their tourism behavior, their tourism experiences, and understand how tourism might have impact on their health. So we use dementia as example to propose tourism can be a non-pharmacological intervention for people with health conditions like dementia. Tourism could contribute to their health through different dimensions of experiences like affective, cognitive, and sensorial experiences. And here's the background information about dementia. Dementia is not a specific disease. It's a group of diseases, and it affects a large population and has significant social impact, leading cause of death and major causes of disability. So dementia is a global health priority, but there's no cure for dementia currently. So the non-pharmacological intervention like musical therapy and art therapy, they have been suggested as the first line approach to for dementia intervention to improve the symptoms of people with dementia, to improve their quality of life. So we need more innovative approach for dementia intervention to help address this high priority. Tourism might be one of these measures. And tourism can not only be used in humans, it can also be used in animals, because animals like dogs and cats, they are also suffering diseases. So taking our pet to travel can not only has the potential to not only impact our health, but also the health of our pets. And so research at the intersection of tourism and health science has significant social impact. It can contribute to like global initiatives like sustainable development goals, help people to have good health and their well-being, and to have people have equalities, because everyone has the equal right to travel, and everyone has the equal right to have good health and well-being, and also can contribute to healthy aging initiative. And also national development strategy like Healthy China 2030. And after conceptualization, because we clarify the potential health impacts of tourism on health, but how tourism impact health and why tourism impact health. Is there any theory can explain the mechanism behind the impact? So we used the principle of entropy increases to explain how tourism might impact health and well-being, both positively and negatively. And this research provides theoretical foundation for the intersection of tourism and health. And this research has significant social impact. It received over 800 media mentions, including Fox News, CBS, and the Washington Post and CNN. So we can see from this that the research at the intersection of tourism and health can have really big social impact. And so it deserves a lot of attention. It deserves more attention. And after conceptualization and serialization, the intersection of tourism and health, we also discussed a methodological innovation at the intersection, because when we conduct research at the intersection of tourism and health science, especially research involving people with health conditions. It's very important for us to choose the right approach methods, so we can ensure that the findings is reliable, it's convincing. So we discussed the methodological innovation. We suggested combining medical research methods and tourism research methods. We discussed how to select participants, how to select research data, and how to design the research. We discussed the challenges and proposed corresponding recommendations. And also we clarify which group with health conditions are suitable for travel, because not everyone with health conditions, they are suitable to travel. So clarifying the travel suitability can really help us to identify appropriate participants in our future empirical research. And we also discussed the use of data source at the intersection of tourism and health. For example, user-generated content. We suggested using it as a complement, and using data source from multiple perspectives, and using objective indicators. So based on the conceptualization, theoretical exploration, and methodological discussion, we conducted several empirical investigations to understand the tourism engagement of people with health conditions. We used dementia as example. For example, in this study, we interviewed people with dementia and hotel managers to understand their tourism experiences. And we find that people with dementia, they have the desire to travel, but they still have many concerns about traveling. And we find that for hotel managers, they still need more like support strategies, more training to develop dementia inclusive tourism. And we also investigate the travel motivation of people with mild dementia. This population, they have the ability to travel, and they have the desire to travel, and they have very diverse motivation. So just like general population, they have the motivation to relax and to strengthen their family connections and to seek novelty, but they also have special motivations. Like they want to be treated equally, and they also want to showcase their personal ability to show to other people that I can still travel, I can still do something on my own. And also they also want to relieve their symptoms through travel. And in addition to motivations, we also investigate the perceived constraints of people with mild dementia. They have many different concerns. They are worried about if they can have the ability to handle the travel procedures, to go through the travel process, and they have the concerns about like if they can access dementia friendly service, if they can successfully manage their medication, and some financial concerns. So we need to investigate more behavior to provide them with like positive tourism experiences and inclusive tourism experiences to ensure they can travel appropriately, they can travel safely, and can even bring health benefits to this population. And this is the overview of our interdisciplinary research project. It's a long-term project, including 4 stages. The first stage is conceptualization and serialization. At this stage, we clarify the health impact of tourism. We use a theory to explain the mechanism how tourism can impact impact health. And we highlighted the health benefits of tourism, especially for people with health conditions. So, and we proposed the concept of travel therapy and defined it. And also at stage 2, we discussed the methodological innovations. We suggested like combining medical research and tourism research and using data source from multiple perspectives and using objective indicators. And at the stage 3, we conducted empirical empirical studies to understand their travel behavior, their travel experiences. So we are planning to understand their more behaviors like negotiation strategies, how they negotiate the constraints, and their psychology states during travel. And we are also planning to investigate the clinical effects of tourism for health for people with different health conditions, including physical travel and virtual tourism travel. So this is the whole interdisciplinary research project. We are trying to connect tourism and medical science to produce more impactful research. And knowing the potential health impacts of tourism could inspire more people to travel properly and safely. So we hope to motivate people to engage in tourism, to see tourism not just a leisure or recreation, but as a valuable part of healthy lifestyle, so they can embrace the health benefits to find a way to improve their quality of life, to improve their health, and bring enjoyment to their life. And that's all my presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Fang Li, for your presentation. Okay. I understand it's not that easy. You need to summarize all of your research journey at your PhD level and based on some of your key publications. So well done. So very impressive. And for me, I'm very proud of you. And our next speaker, our last speaker is Dr. Chen Ganghua from the University of Central Florida. So Chen Gang, I over the time to you, and please do your share your research. Cool. Thank you.
So can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So thank you for organizing, Dr. Wen. And my topic today is the therapeutic power of travel, how survey design impact public health. And let's get right into it. And basically, I will frame my understanding of the topic through 3 pieces of my research. And first, we will ask, does travel enhance or hinder the health of travelers? And here, we will use a statistical analysis to establish a causal relationship between travel participation and the alleviation of depression. And second, we will explore why does travel have these health impacts? The answer, as you will see, lies in accommodating service design. And finally, we will consider how can we ensure the therapeutic benefit of travel. First, whether travel can enhance or hinder the health of travelers. From the literature, we can see that travel activities as a therapeutic method has never been extensively tested compared with leisure activities or recreational activities. Second, most studies under the topic have relied on cross-sectional data analysis, which frequently face criticism due to its limited ability to establish causal relationships. As a result, is it traveling lead to healthier life, or people who in better health condition travel more is still debatable. To examine this causal relationship, we applied a random intercept cross-legged panel model, and this statistical approach is well suited for longitudinal data analysis as it allows us to see how variables influence each other over time. And I will let go of the details of the method design and just go to result. But let me know if you have any questions. So the analysis indicates that no significant causal relationship is observed of travel participation impact on depression severity across time. And on contrary, we notice higher levels of depression at the earlier stage may motivate individuals to engage in travel as a coping mechanism to manage their symptoms at a later time. And the finding indicates that travel is not inherently a natural therapeutic solution, especially for individuals who are facing physical, mental, or social economic constraints, as it typically requires substantial planning, financial investment, and significant energy and time commitment. And instead, travel serves as a coping mechanism for managing depression, with individuals experiencing more severe depression being more likely to recognize their needs for coping strategies and participate in travel. Previous studies have demonstrated the potential of travel as a therapeutic approach, but achieving meaningful health outcomes requires moving beyond an unstructured or ad hoc perspective. This is especially true if we construct travel activity with recreational activity participation, which effectively elevate depressive symptoms while being more accessible and easily integrated into daily life. These recreational activities, which are more or less physically demanding and more cost-effective than travel, create meaningful opportunities for social interaction, physical improvement, and psychological relief, etc., and etc. And hence, the analysis highlights the central role of accessible accommodations in shaping health improvement through travel participation. And the barriers in tourism, including social, informational, and physical, limit access to health benefit of travel for those who need the most, such as people with disabilities and individuals who are facing mental health challenges. To overcome these barriers, what I propose is an approach centered around accommodating service innovation, which brings us to the key question: what factors contribute to insufficient accommodating service attitude and behaviors? And in this research, we begin with the premise that the current standardized service model in the tourism and hospitality industry are flawed. And these models, shaped by biased perspectives, inherently divide customers into able and disabled bodies, and the impact goes beyond mere inconvenience. Such practices harm the health and wellness of travelers with different abilities by reinforcing barriers to fully participation in travel activities and denying them equitable access to services. Current research often examines service models primarily through the lens of customer satisfaction and operational efficiency. The focus tends to be on how standardization can optimize service delivery and reduce cost, rather than how these systems might exclude marginalized groups. In doing so, the research misses an opportunity to explore how service practices can be more inclusive and responsive and healthier to the diverse needs of all customers, not just those who are able to fit in the standardized models. To explore this idea, we conducted a systematic literature review. Again, I will pass on the details of methodology, and let's go straight to the key findings. So what did we find? First, based on analysis, we developed an ecological model of ableist perspectives in accommodating service. And this model shows that implicit bias is shaped by a combination of external influences and internal attitudes, with each level representing a critical dimension that contribute to exclusionary practices. First, at the social norms level, factors such as dividing practices, stigmatization, normalization, discrimination, and marginalization reflect broader societal context. And at the organizational level, commercial priorities, standardized designs, accommodation protocols, and the tendency to meet only minimum legal requirements emerge as key contributors. And these industry practices often prioritize efficiency and profitability at the expense of inclusivity. And finally, at the individual level, personal proficiency play a central role. Limited trainings, awareness gaps, and unpreparedness can hinder service providers' ability to deliver accommodating services and perpetuating exclusion in everyday interaction. In short, this model emphasizes that biases in service delivery is not simply an individual issue, but rather the outcome of interconnected social norms, organizational and cultural expectations. And together, all these forces shape how accommodating services are or are not delivered in practice. And further, this inadequate accessibility, insufficient trainings, and minimum compliance with accessibility standards not only limit travelers' ability to enjoy the positive effect of travel participation, but also directly increase their health risks. These barriers exacerbate stress, stigma, and health disparities, underscoring inaccessibility as a significant public health concern. And appropriate accommodating services in tourism and hospitality can play a vital role in reducing health disparities and elevating public health burdens by fostering the well-being of all travelers, especially travelers with disabilities. Moreover, travel, when thoughtfully designed, can serve as a complementary intervention, improving health through physical activity, therapeutic environment, and social connections. And hence, these findings highlight the critical role of accommodation services in addressing travel barriers and constraints, and while promoting both health and inclusivity within the industry. Now that we know that these implicit biases, social norms, negatively affect accommodating service delivery, and in turn limit the therapeutic potential of travel. So the next challenge is, how do we capture these implicit biases, and what can we do to ensure the therapeutic effect of travel? So how do we do this? So we built an implicit association test, which is also known as AAT, to identify implicit biases. The AAT is a well-known tool for measuring hidden biases. By looking at how quickly someone links different concepts, the AAT reveals lasting associations that often go unnoticed. In tourism and hospitality research, the AAT has mostly been used to study destination image and brand perception. Its use for accessible tourism or service inclusivity is still rare, zero to my knowledge, even though one of its main strengths is spotting hidden attitudes and stereotypes about disability. So we dove into our analysis in the previous systematic literature review, and coding stand out positive and negative attributes across the three dimensions: social norms, organizational initiatives, and individual proficiency, and use this code to guide the selection of AAT stimuli. And after pre-testing, we finalized 12 target images, able and disabled, and 18 evaluative attributes, positive or negative, as shown in this table. And this is how the AAT looks like. And if you want to test it, here is the QR code. I also put it at the end of the slide as well, so that if you want to try it. So we collected data from 300 service practitioners here in the US, and here is what we found. First, participants showed a moderate implicit preference for physically able individuals with an overall AAT score of 0.285, and this bias was consistent across all three levels we tested. But interestingly, when we look at explicit tests, which we collected through questionnaires after the AAT, people actually showed a strong explicit preference for physically disabled individuals. Take a closer look at the descriptive numbers of our AAT. You will notice that a linear consistency There, the social, organizational, and individual tests all reveal the same overall pattern, validating our ecological model that these implicit biases run through every level of service design. And further, if you look at the red line, some groups show a close match between implicit and explicit attitudes, like the pro-disabled group. And by the way, we divided our participants into pro-abled and pro-disabled and neutral groups. And for those pro-disabled group, their implicit and explicit attitudes align, while other groups diverge. Further, the pro-abled group shows a deeper discrepancy compared with pro-disabled and neutral groups between implicit and explicit attitudes. On the one hand, these participants have a strong automatic association favoring abled guests. On the other hand, they express the most enthusiastic explicit support for disability accommodation for this group. And this paradox highlights a core tension in this group. Their strong explicit commitment means that they are open to change, but they need interventions that target these hidden biases. So further, to test whether these observations have statistical significance, we examine the relationship between implicit and explicit attitude, assessing whether they are meaningfully similar or significantly different. One of the many interesting findings shows that organizational initiatives are the main driver of the gap between implicit and explicit attitude above accessible accommodating attitude. And this echoes what we found earlier, that standardized policies and protocols often hide biases and stereotypes and assumptions such as valuing uniformity and efficiency over flexibility and individual support. So new institutional theory shows that why this happens. Companies stick with familiar routes and reward what they already in place, making these biases invisible. As a result, even well-intended employees can slip into accessibility comes second to efficiency without realizing it. And this could be the main reason lead vulnerable demographics to retreat from travel participation, and hence they can no longer enjoy the health benefit of travel. And now let's conclude what we concluded. First, convergence of explicit and implicit attitude lead to seamless accommodation services. For extrinsic accommodating intentions, profit-driven checkbox approaches tend to be limited. On the contrary, when a staff member both believe in inclusion and feel it deep down, when their explicit and implicit attitudes converge, they provide most sincere accommodating services. Together, these insights build a dual pathway model. The intrinsic and extrinsic motivations operating side by side, reinforcing each other or create coherence, genuine accommodating attitude. And second is the strain caused when implicit bias clash with explicit organizational mandate. Cognitive dissonance theory tells us that holding up opposing beliefs, automatic carrying reactions versus stated inclusion policies create uncomfortable tension. And in a fast-paced hospitality setting, this repeated clash can lead to emotional exhaustion and burnout. And the research shows that suppressing spontaneous reaction to meet company rules deplete self-control and rising fatigue and anxiety and even depression. So given the implicit and explicit gaps we have seen, especially in the pro-abled group, addressing this isn't just about better service, but also to protect the health and wellness of staff in tourism and hospitality industry. Hence, travel and tourism, only when thoughtfully designed, can serve as a complementary intervention, improving health through physical activity, therapeutic environments, and social connections. And these findings emphasize the critical importance of accommodating services in promoting inclusivity, health, and wellness within the industry and as well the society. However, travel as a therapeutic tool need to be carefully examined to fulfill its health potential. For example, the API process, which from recreational therapy area provide a useful framework for researchers in the tourism area to consider, ensuring that travel interventions are systematically assessed, planned, implemented, evaluated, and documented to maximize the therapeutic benefits and minimize potential risks. So this recognition of travel therapeutic potential also breeds recreational therapy professionals and the tourism and hospitality practitioners. It paves the way for collaborative efforts such as tailored travel package designed for people who are experiencing depression symptoms and understanding the travel experience built around therapeutic principles, something like that. And these collaborations could redefine how society perceives and approaches health rehabilitation in multiple groups beyond people with disabilities. For example, older adults and people who are suffering from mental health issues, including anxiety, depression, etc., etc. Thank you all for listening. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you for Dr. Hua for your sharing on your research. So I'm sure we can sense a strong public health flavor. So thank you for sharing. So that's good. Okay, so yeah, that's good. We have around 10 minutes. Okay, for some very interesting questions from our colleagues. So so let me share my screen and okay, here we go. Okay, so yeah, we'll keep it short. Okay, so I just we all learn the good insight from our four speakers. Okay, so now we also received some of the interesting questions. Okay, so our team just pick up one each, and for each of our speakers today on the live session. So the first question is for Professor Bengal. Okay, I will read through quickly. All right, so Ben, listen carefully, okay? We will learn from your further insights, okay? So in recent years, there has been a notable increase in research collaboration between the fields of tourism and the medical health sciences, such as traditional Chinese medicine. So as well as between tourism departments and medical schools at the universities globally. So you as a dean of the tourism and hospitality faculty at your university and as the senior education leader in the community. Okay, so could you kindly share your insight and the observations regarding this developing interdisciplinary research area? So from your perspective, thank you.
Thank you. Great question. So yes, since I started here at NEST, you know, in 2020, I think we may have interdisciplinary research publication, for example, maybe 5 to 7, I think. And then last year, I counted just in NEST alone, 75 out of the 75, 20 over 20 of them are related to. It's from our faculty reaching out to various other faculty and mainly and the health sciences, especially the Chinese medicine. So and those of you that are here, Dr. Wen Xun, Hua Chenggang, finally, who all of you to be commended for pushing this kind of collaboration because you are willing to share your knowledge with people in the health sciences area. We have to do this. In my head, in my mind, what I'm thinking when I think about interdisciplinary research is just now that we are hitching our wagon to somebody else. I want other fields to know the importance of tourism. So you know, for us to really become a established discipline, this is what we need to do. We need to share what we know, and we need to show them how we can integrate um, tourism into healthcare and other areas, of course. But for me, this healthcare area, health sciences area that you are in is very, very important. And one day, we can prove to the world that travel does prolong your life. You imagine what kind of impact that would have on our field. You know, as a dean, you know, I'm constantly worried about enrollment. Tourism or hospitality is no longer sexy. You look at the United States. I worked there for over 40 years. Enrollment declining like crazy. Why? Because we are too self-centered. We don't reach out to other people. We don't show them, you know, with this degree what you can do. And even with health sciences, if we can show them, you know, the health benefits of tourism, I am sure people that may thinking about tourism or healthcare will join us. Will, you know, it is not just hospitality and tourism working in hotel. It is much more than that. So I think as a dean, this is what I want to do. And I'm glad that Dr. Wen Chun is with us. I'm glad that Hong Li Hu will be joining us. So, and I am glad that we have Hua Shen Gang here and a collaborator with us. And also future is bright for the discipline. Future is bright for our students. So we just continue down this path. Thank you. Wen Chun, your mic is on.
Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, thank you, Ben, for sharing your personal views on this emerging and important interdisciplinary research stream. And your leadership and support are truly appreciated. And for us to collaborate a bit more, you know, research partnership among the different faculties. Okay, so let me keep going through. Our next question is for okay, Dr. Chen Ganghua. Okay, so it's very inspiring to know that you hold double PhDs in different fields. So would you be comfortable to share your reasoning behind this choice and how this experience has contributed to your successful interdisciplinary research published in tourism and other areas such as public health? So please share your view with probably the even younger generation of scientists want to do interdisciplinary research. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. And I feel a little embarrassed to say this is a successful interdisciplinary research trial. And the reason that I choose to do another PhD in leisure behavior is because I have a visiting opportunity here in the US, and I found that people in public health treat tourism and travel activities in a very different way. So at that stage, I was doing research on how elderly can co-creation values like good travel experiences with others on social media. And but when I got there, I found that their research are very specific demographics, like elderly, they are dividing into dementia, retired or not, something like that. So at that time, I thought, okay, I need something from public health perspective to help me to do research that can better help build the travel health topics. That's very simple reason for me. And yeah, I think I answered your question. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your, I think you are, yeah, so we will read about your research, not only published in tourism and in public health, like in Aging Journal. So I think it's a very good example for us to try, you know, and to try to publish in the different areas successfully. Okay, so thank you for sharing. Okay, so the last one is for Fang Li. So yeah, I think that's a very interesting question because I have been discussing a lot. So for colleagues, I understand that some of them they may be interested in how to navigate medical school during your PhD training. So especially as the students engage in interdisciplinary research as bridge tourism and the medical sciences, particularly when you do research and focus on, the tourists with health condition like dementia. So would you be willing to share your insights and provide some advice for prospective PhD students in the near future and who may be brave enough to pursue a similar journey like what you are doing now? So would you like to share your personal views? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. I think from my experiences doing a PhD in a medical school first really bring me a lot of benefits because it really broadened my perspective, like how I see tourism, not just leisure, recreation, or economic activity, but as something that can closely related to our health. And I can learn some medical research skills like medical research methods, medical terminology, and learning medical research while applying tourism knowledge really make our research more convincing and stronger. And I think another great thing is the easier access to the medical research community. We can go to the medical conferences. We can meet top experts in this area, sometimes even Nobel Prize winners, and just say how they think research and how they design their studies is very can give us new perspectives. And our tourism background can provide us unique perspective to help us stand out in medical research in medical team. And of course, it's also a challenging process because we don't have solid medical background, so we may feel a little overwhelming at first because we need to learn a lot of new terminology, new methods, and ways of thinking. So my advice is to stay curious and open-minded, and don't be afraid to ask questions, even if the question sounds basic to them, sounds silly to them. But I think maybe the question can have the most interesting insights. And I also think collaboration and communication is very important. Talking to people from both fields and ask them how they see our research questions and how they what challenges they think that we may have, and what methods or examples they find useful for us for our research. For example, the idea of using the principle of entropy increases to explain the relationship between tourism and health actually come up during a coffee chat with my two supervisors. And I think finally we need to be patient and persistent because conducting research at this intersection is not easy. It may take a long time to go. So we need to be patient, and we just need to try again and again. I think it will worth it. Yeah, that's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, that's good for sharing your personal experience. So hopefully in the near future, when you start your career at the university, you can share a bit more your personal tips and your experience with more younger students who may want to pursue the same area. Okay, thank you. And once again, thank you for all our team and our four panel speakers, and to spend your time to prepare, to share, and especially for to our senior speakers. They try to squeeze to leave in more time for our two middle and early career researchers and the speakers, and to share a bit more about your research. So there's very generous, very kind leadership from our two senior speakers. So thank you very much and for sharing your insights, and thank you for everyone to participate in today's session. So unfortunately, we don't have more time for Q&A session, but I will share our today's webinar recording to Kathy and to the journal, and will be shared to the general public in our community. I'm sure you will receive more interesting questions regarding your research experience and leadership and so on in this area. So I think that's we lay a foundation to facilitate more meaningful communication, the discussion in this area. So thank you again for Ben, Feng Li, and Chen Gan for Yan Pao. And hopefully I can see you again and have a nice day. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
Wen Chi. See everybody later another time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, Joe.